fucking god, bro.
Okay, there we go. Let me see if this will work.
The Jinn.
Okay, it does work.
They...
All right, let's try this again. What is up, guys? We are back with another video, and I want to talk about something. I'm not going to go in and break down the patch and do all that stuff. There's much smarter, better people to do that. What I want to talk about today is GGG is doing something that has never been done. I am super excited about this patch. They cooked again. They finally have some dedicated people on each team. According to the interview, I did watch this whole video. I watched the Q&A this morning while I was doing cardio. Let me throw a lip pillow in. But there's something that none of these other streamers are talking about, which we need to talk about today. And that, my friends, is the most important thing, at least to me. They changed the Atlas tree. They changed the end game. They added a bunch of stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Guys, we literally have two amazing games from GGG right now that are beta testing shit for each other. If you watched the adjustments they're doing to the end game of PoE 1, they're completely changing the Atlas so that now you can do basically the same map. You can, the way that you juice it is completely different. You don't have to do like every map completion thing. Like, I mean, it looked pretty cool, right? Like there's waystones, so you can basically just run the same map. If you want to switch maps, as long as you have the map material, you can just run a different map. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It makes it so that you can really kind of play what you want to play, and it's not hopefully going to feel as crazy bogged down. But what I really like was they took the best parts from PoE 2's endgame, which I think Waystones down the road, like I think there's so much potential there. I can't wait to see what they cooked in 0.5 for PoE 2. But with this is really, really, really cool to me with what they're doing with the Atlas tree, where you can add Astro Bowls, or however you say it, right? And it can add different shit to your map once you kill the final end bosses and the Ubers and stuff like that. And you can continue to juice. They axed T17s, which amazing. The thing that I think that not enough people are talking about that with the T17s is what that does is that opens up so many other builds, right? Because realistically, right, like I played the last Phracia League, I ran Jungron's build, I basically maxed it out, right? Like you can't get a better character than what I had. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of ways, but like it was ridiculous, right? And I could do T17s. The problem is rolling T17 sucks. Rolling 16.5s was meh, right? The flower petals gone. Like they came in, listened to the community and said, hey, all this stuff sucks. Let's just fix it. And it looks like they did. Their new season mechanic with the Mirage, where it basically makes a season, but then allows you to use all other seasonal mechanics in the seasonal mechanic. Like, just genius shit. Breach going core, buffs to ground loot, harbingers going away, just so much quality of life stuff. Even the divination card change, like that's so huge. Like I was running Scarab strong boxes, right? So you got the Arcanist and the Divinity strong boxes. So at the end of like, you know, your map test, let's say you did 20, 30 maps, you'd be sitting at the divination card guy for like 30 minutes, just click, 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 click. So annoying. Now you just basically click and it'll automatically show. And then you don't have to pull it out. You can just click the next one, It'll auto go into your inventory as long as you have enough space. Really good. All this little extra stuff that you're seeing right now in the background. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Just different ways that you can modify maps. Obviously, hopefully it stays fresh, right? That's always the big concern with stuff like this. I think at the beginning of the league, though, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really cool. I have not picked a build yet, but the biggest thing that I want to talk about is their ability to beta test for both games. If you haven't picked up on it yet, right? Like they beta tested the trade, right? So you didn't have to sit there and deal with whispers and no one responding to you and all that bullshit. You just go find the thing on instant buyout. To be honest, like instant buyout is so much better than the other one. Like I even hated using the other one, like the old trade method. Like I literally, if somebody had what I wanted in the old trade method, I actually would just, even if it was a lot cheaper, I would literally go to instant buyout only because I didn't even want to deal with it. Like that's how much better it is. And they obviously took that, implemented it into PoE1, and it's fantastic. Now, I think this is what we're going to get. I'm actually going to restart this video. Hang on. What is up, guys? We are back with another video. I know it's been a while, a lot of stuff, but today I want to talk about one thing, and it is not what every other streamer is talking about. It is absolutely something that I haven't really seen a whole lot of people talk about, but GGG is doing something that no other game company can do, and it is exponentially making both of their games better. You have PoE1 and PoE2, both doing updates, both growing, both expanding, both cooking at the same time. And what we're getting is the crossover to both. That's the best. It is by far, I think this is going to be the explosion of not only PoE1, but PoE2, because this is what we have. If you haven't watched this video, type in Path of Exile on YouTube. Go check it out. The new season's coming on March 6th. I can't wait to log in and play it. I think GGG is absolutely cooking with this one. It basically is every seasonal mechanic that you can mess with the new seasonal mechanic. And there's modifiers to keep it fresh. They've completely changed the Atlas tree. They're getting rid of tier 17 maps. They're getting rid of petals. All the shit that sucked at the high-end endgame. Fantastic job, GGG. They buff ground loot. We'll see if it's good or not, right? But here is what I love. If you noticed, they added Waystones to PoE1, which is the end game, part of the end game system for PoE2. What I think we're going to get, right? They've done this with the auction house where we have the in-person auction house, and now we don't even have to deal with the person. We can just port to their thing. They have it priced. They don't have to be online. We don't have to wait for them to respond. We don't have to wait for them to get out of the map and come out and give us our shit, and then we trade, right? And then you get the person who's never played, who doesn't know how to trade. Fantastic. Like, I literally will pay more to not deal with people, and I will do it all day for the rest of my life, right? Like, it is fantastic. It is the DoorDash of loot versus having to deal with the grocery store, right? That self-checkout is always better. And so what I want to talk about, though, is they took that from PoE2. They beta tested it, basically. Everybody loved it. So they ported it right over to PoE1 literally the next season. We're going to get the same thing with this. I think what we're going to get is we're going to get this PoE1, this end game adjustment. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're also going to get 0.5, which I believe is going to be in a completely different direction. Okay? I don't think you're going to see them merge, because if I were GGG and I was running this company and I incorporated so much consumer feedback, and they do the best job of incorporating consumer feedback that I've ever seen. Absolutely fantastic job. Devs, be proud of yourself. No, I'm not trying to get an invite to ExileCon. I do not have time to go. I operate businesses and nobody cares what I have to say. However, if you're watching, thank you so much. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, please. 90% of my viewers aren't subscribed, which means I suck, but thank you for watching. Okay. I'm going to try to get better. Hopefully earn that sub. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to take a fantastic endgame, which PoE 1 has a goated endgame, right? The endgame system in PoE 1, I played the Thracia League, not a big Idols fan, but whatever. I love PoE 1. It is fantastic. There's so many different things you can do to keep it fresh, keep it interesting. I loved the changes with the Astro Bowls or whatever you want to call them. I might be saying that wrong. I don't know. It's the New Zealand Kiwi shit that they always name stuff where you can't pronounce it. But the biggest thing that I love is that I think this is going to be an excellent change of pace for the end game. And obviously we'll see how people like it, right? Like obviously the blasters are going to find out first because they're going to put in more hours than everybody else. But I think once the normal people like me put in our hours and we get to that same hour point that the blasters get to after week 1, week 2, you know, by the end of the 3rd, 4th, 5th week that we're playing at like still heavy hours, but not like those guys, I think we'll have a consensus of, do we like it? What would we change? What would we adjust? Is it still fresh? How do we make it cool? But here's what I think. I think in 0.5, they're going to go a completely other direction. I think it's going to be completely changed. I think they're going to keep the open world map. I actually like the open world map. I think there's so many cool little things you can do in there, but I think they're going to go in a completely different direction. And then what I think they're going to do, this is true, because again, PoE 2 is where they're going to make all their money moving forward. Okay. And you got to remember, this is a company that does have some sell to, right? Like some of the bigger companies who they care about the bottom line. Right. And so what I think they're going to do is they're going to let these guys cook in both of these different seasons. And then what you're going to see in PoE 2 is not only in 0.6, you're going to see endgame adjustments from the endgame patch, which they told us we will be getting next patch. But we will also see a influence from the consumer feedback on this PoE 1 league, because that is why they put in Waystones. I would bet my life savings. I would bet my house. I wouldn't quite bet my kid, but it'd be pretty close, right? Maybe the older one. But I'm telling you, I think they are going to absolutely see how this goes, incorporating Waystones, and then take the best parts of PoE 1 of this new endgame system and port it right over into PoE 2. Whether that's the Atlas tree, whether that's the map infestation, the Astro Bowls, because think about this. If you were in PoE 2 and you were going into this area, and let's say you got to a tower, right? And in the tower, you could still juice every map, right? But in the tower, you could make the whole area like blighted or corrupted, or, you know, and they kind of have that right now with the corruption towers. This is just another iteration, and they could add Astro Balls to add even more like unique influence over the maps, or allow you to select certain types of maps or change landscape. There's so many things that by doing what they're doing in PoE 1, they can get feedback to make the endgame in PoE 2 unbelievable. Because here's the truth, guys. PoE 1's leveling and campaign experience and I've ran them both the same amount of times. Okay. I've only been playing PoE 1 for about 4 years. I played PoE 2 absolutely every patch since launch. And the campaign in PoE 2 is, even with the only the first 4 acts and then the intermediary shit, is still an unbelievable campaign experience. Like, I actually, like, now I don't want to play through it 100 times in a season, but I'll play through it twice, no problem. I think I played through it 3 times last season because it was fine, right? Like, I enjoyed the power creep. I enjoy seeing my guy get stronger. I enjoyed all the little things and the quests and going to different islands and killing all the bot. Like, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Is there work to be done on there? Sure, but it's in beta, right? We always got to remember that it's still in beta. This, however, if they can get this end game right, like Druid was fantastic. I played 3 Druid builds. If they can get this right and their end game continues on that, boy, do we have a new king in town. I know that's a lot to say. I still think pound for pound right now at 0.4, if you just take PoE 2 at face value of what it is right now, obviously PoE 1 is still the best. Torchlight Infinite is number 2. PoE 2 is right there. It is 2B. If they crush this endgame and they take the influence out of PoE 1 and they put it into PoE 2, and then in 0.6, they incorporate the best parts of the PoE 1 endgame into PoE 2, which is what I believe their plan is, PoE 2 could go all the way to the top. It could absolutely go all the way to the top of the best ARPG before a 1.0 release. And then they would have, one more patch to kind of polish it before release, but that would be a game. And that's why I think that is because we know the deadline, right? Jonathan, he's moved it a year already, but Jonathan said he wants to see 2.6, he's not going to see 2.7. They will launch this game in 2026, which means December likely, right? Which means they have this patch coming up and then one more before launch. So the only way to get that much feedback and that much testing is to beta test in your other game, because that will give them 2 opportunities to iterate on this end game. And then they will have 2 opportunities in PoE 2 to iterate to make this game the absolute GOAT on launch, even without all the classes, even without all the ascendancies, even without everything that they promised from day one. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. They can add those things in, and they will continue to do so. But this, I was sitting there watching the whole time going, I wasn't watching this as this patch is going to be dope as fuck, even though I think this patch is going to be dope as fuck. I was watching this from the persona of how are they using this content to make PoE 2 better. And if you go back and watch this same exact video with that intent, you go, oh. And the whole time you're seeing little Easter eggs of things that they're obviously aware of in PoE 2 being issues. And obviously they know their strengths in PoE 1 and how they can kind of morph PoE 2 into an absolute GOAT. And then this will be similar to what I think D3 was at the end, where it was just unbelievable and they tried absolutely crazy shit. And what they'll do is they'll try crazier and crazier and crazier shit in PoE 1 to see what absolutely cooks to put into PoE 2. And I know some people might not like that. I know some people say, well, then kill PoE 1. No, absolutely not, man. This game is the absolute OG. This game will be around forever. It will make them money forever. I buy a pack every league. These I'm not going to lie, though. This was the first league where both supporter packs I didn't like. I'm not going to lie. That was the only part that disappointed me, is I didn't like either of them. And I've never not bought a supporter pack for these guys. I love GGG that much. Literally every patch I played for both games, I buy a supporter pack because I want them to know that I appreciate their hard work. And the only way to do that for companies that have, investors like that is to increase their bottom line. And to do that, you get out your wallet, you spend money, you support the things you love. And I absolutely will do that. But these supporter packs, I'm not sure. So I might have to begrudgingly pick one. I'll go back through them again and maybe see if there's something that I'm like, okay, I like that the best, I guess. Right. But I'm telling you guys, I think what they're looking to do with not only this game, but using this game to propel PoE 2 to the absolute top of the ARPG list, which the only person ahead of them is themselves, right? The top is already controlled by them. This game could absolutely lap it. PoE 2 could absolutely be head and shoulders above PoE 1 if they keep cooking like this and keeping that cross-contamination going, because they're not the same game by any means. Now, there's similarities, obviously, but there should be. One's called PoE 1, one's called PoE 2. There should be similarities. They're not going out there and trying to create something brand new. They already figured out how to be the top. So that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, we got to talk about it. Last Epoch released a little teaser trailer. It looks like Breach. It looks like a very little tiny shitty Breach. Now I'm still going to play it. But why did this take 8 months? 9 months? I get there's alters, there's all kinds of cool different stuff you can do, but why did this take 9 months? They're adding corrupted items. I love it. Why did this take 9 months? They're adding more variety. I get it. Why did this take 9 months? I got to tell you guys, man, I think the leveling experience in Last Epoch is probably my favorite. I think their skill trees are absolutely fantastic. I think the way that they have crafting, I think that their endgame systems of trade versus non-trade in SSF and how you have to pick one are both fantastic. I played them both. I actually prefer SSF, which is crazy because I like to buy shit in every other game, but I prefer their SSF model. I think it's more fun. I think it adds more variety to the game. I truly enjoy Last Epoch, but their end game and their ability to continue to add things is at such a slow pace, man. I was really hoping that with them being bought that they could fix this shit because they did this before and they said we're never going to do it again, where it's going to take us forever to get a season out. And then the next season came out and it was meh, right? And then this season they went back on their word and did exactly what they said they weren't going to do. And I know some people are pissed that they're like, oh, well, they said they're going to make people pay for the expansion. No shit, dude. It's a game. They got to be able to develop it. They got to pay developers money. Like, you got to pay to play. That's how it works. I don't really care about that. Like, I think if you're upset about that, no offense. If you're that upset about $30 for a video game, like, you shouldn't be playing video games that much. Go out and get a fucking job. Like, go make more money for you and the people you love, right? That's my opinion. I play these games for fun. I play these games when I can. That's why I don't upload videos all the time, because like I'm actually a busy human being and I have shit to do. And video games are my reward, right? Like some of y'all got your mindset fucked up. Y'all are sitting out here, acting like, oh, I shouldn't have to do this and do that. Like, learn how the real world works, man. You got to pay money to develop games and to do this shit. And I just think, here's what my concern is I think they're going to put out this patch. They're going to completely butt fuck the microtransactions, right? Their microtransaction stores is the worst microtransaction store in the history of microtransaction stores. And that's the only way they were supposed to make money. And they've done a piss poor job at it. Their microtransaction store sucks. And I love this game. I love this company. I love the idea. I love that where they started. I love all the shit that they've done. I love so many of their systems. But like, now you got your notoriety, you got your attention. Now you got to perform, bro. Like, you don't get to want to be on the big stage and then you get on the big stage and you just get your ass kicked, right? Like, you got to show up and show out. And I think right now, like, I looked at this whole thing and I've stayed up to date, right? Like, I watch Aaron Action RPG. I watch all the updates. I don't watch dev talks because fuck that. That's boring. But like, it's time, guys. Like, you got to pick it up. Like, you just got a whole bunch of money from the final buyout. You've got a company that's got a nothing but a war chest to help you make this game bigger, stronger, faster, and do it. Are we back? Are we on? Or are we going to disconnect me again? All right, guys, we need to talk about Last Epoch. Last Epoch, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta say it. I gotta be the one. They took 9 months to come out with a shitty version of Breach. They took 9 months to come out with corrupting an item. They took 9 months with basically adding a randomizer on your maps. I don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing. Like they did it. They did the thing. I love their story. I love a lot of their systems. Their leveling system, I it's one of the best. Their skill system, one of the best. But I got to tell you guys, like their end game is stale. They took forever on their second season. And to be honest with you, the biggest problem with the second season was it took so long. It was a great season, but it took so long. And then they said, we're never going to do that again. The next season, they came out right out of the gate, fired out, did the dinosaur event. It sucked. But all the main shit was still good, right? And then they got their notoriety. They got into the conversation. They got into, hey, we're rivaling for the spot. We got potential. We're fighting the big boys, right? Like they did the thing they set out to do. They got in the ring and then they just walked. It's like they stopped trying. It's like they stopped trying after they got in the ring. Now I understand they don't have the money and the support, but like they've sold the company 714 times, right? Like they have the income. It just seems like this is honest. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I think this company's dead. They just don't know it yet. That's truly what I think. Now I could be wrong. The Chinese company that came in and bought them could come in and just influx a bunch of devs and a bunch of cash and get this game rolling, because I do think it could be in the conversation. But right now, like you look at what Diablo 4 puts out, like they've got all these new classes. Their seasons are always meh, but like they come out and they come out all the time. You look at PoE, like look what they're doing in both games at the same time in one studio. Like if PoE 1 would have came out and said this is 3.28, even on their timeline, people would have melted the fuck down. So what are these guys doing, man? Like their microtransaction store, the only thing that makes them money is absolute trash. You can go look at it. It's absolute trash. I would love, like I have so many points I could buy stuff with, but nothing looks cool. So like I just accumulate the points and I try to support them. I really do. I think like I love the story. Like I root for this type of shit. Like I root for the little guy to make it and get in the ring with the big dog. But it's like you got in the ring with the big dog and the big dog just fucked you up and you didn't know how to handle the spotlight. And that's really what I feel. And I feel like I'm going to play this season and I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to try it. But I have a feeling by day 2, man, I'm going to be bored as shit. Like I'm going to be like, okay, it's the same. It's the same. Like it's the same shit. And don't get me wrong, their innovation on SSF versus Trade League with the guilds is unbelievably smart. Their skill system is awesome. Their idol system is great. Their crafting system is great. I love this game. But for whatever reason, they have completely and utterly it seems like they fell apart. Like this ain't it, man. I'm sorry. This just doesn't seem like it's it. Like they basically just put in the shittiest parts of Breach from the other games and the shittiest parts of War Plans from Diablo 4. Like it was like they took the lowest hanging, easiest fruit to implement, tried to put them both in, and think that that's going to be sufficient for a 9-month break between seasons after they told us they would never do that again. And I get that a lot of people are pissed at them about trying to make money, but let's be honest, guys, they need to make money to keep developing the game. So I don't want to say it's time to pack it in yet, because I might be completely wrong about this season. It might fuck. You know what I'm saying? But like right now, I don't see it. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. all this shit first. Hang on. Ooh, money, 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 money. Money. Nice.
Freedom.
Still broke.
Is but
Yep.
a bone
It's okay.
thrown to the weak by the powerful.
All right, so let's do this. What's up, guys? I wanted to do one final update. I've been back at Torchlight now that the Freshia season is done. I've been just kind of hanging out and just grinding this when I'm bored and, you know, when I'm at home and I ain't got nothing else to do. So my gear has gotten substantially better. I still need to get the ring with the curse, but my weapons are starting to fuck. I got the really cool ring over here, the Borax ring. I got to adjust some stuff on the boots a little bit, but, you know, primarily I'm sitting here. I'm block capped, right here. My ice lance, this is not reality because what I can do is if I want to just hit, so I'll show you the damage that this thing can do. It is kind of crazy if we're being honest. Now I have a setup to where obviously I'm much more tanky. If we're being quite honest, you know, I'm much more tanky in the other build, and that's what I've been playing with because I don't need the damage. But just to show you guys, with this is I can cap 5 trillion no problem, and I'm not optimal in any way, shape, or form. So the 5 trillion mark is the first time I've ever capped out the DPS meter, so I can do that all day. But how I typically play, at least that's why you see my bar down here actually going through, is and obviously there's still some upgrades I can do. Like there's a lot of them, right? Like I can definitely make this guy a lot better, but like at what point? I'm just kind of buying time till PoE 1's new league comes out. But I'm in here just rocking basically this DPS out. So obviously once my cooldown comes back up, I'll pop it and show you guys. But you know what I mean? I'm sitting at a couple of trillion without really any issues whatsoever. 2.5 trillion, pretty much, you know, over 2 trillion sustained with being tanky AF, right? And there's obviously a bunch of shit I can do to upgrade this. Obviously, when there's enemies around, I absolutely crush more. You know, I'm still messing around with all this stuff. So I've got to get a little bit better on some of these, but I'm working on it, right? And so, you know, I'm using close range down here with frail on it, so I don't have to get either of those. It's got crit strike rating per fervor. I do want to actually increase my fervor, but right now, you know, this is what this is getting the bonuses of. So I'm getting the cold skill level, which I want to get another one of and take this out. But I have to get, I ran out of money, right? So I have to get the focus blessing, and this one's actually pretty good. So I'm debating on, you know, but I can get rid of this and add a couple of different things in here. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm working on right now is getting another, you know, getting these optimized and filled up. And I can push this build to probably, I bet you I can easily push this build to 5 trillion while being super tanky. But it has been really fun. I switched over to kind of trying to loosely follow Min-Max. You know, he's got 25 trillion on here and he's using, you know, a little bit different setup. There's this thing I need to get. You know, there's just a couple things that I can do to really make this build a lot better. Oh, that's a really cool setup how he's got that. That's really neat. These little squares though are expensive, so I'm trying to save up for those and then get the ring with the curse, and then once I get all that, then I'll easily be at 5 trillion. I don't know that I'll actually grind all that out. It's probably like 10k FE at this point in the season to do that. So we'll see. I might do it, I might not, but wanted to update you on the old Gemma 2. I guess I can quick go in and run a map for you real quick. But guys, this season has been absolutely wonderful. I've really Really, really, really enjoyed it. Which one do I? Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go run this one because I don't know if the other one's set up for my thing. So I'm doing right now. I'm just messing around doing like an outlaw surge build, basically. But as you can see, right, like it just cooks. You just walk through everything. You're super tanky. You know, I've only got 7,500 shield. I can definitely do better on that, but you know, this is profound, by the way. Like I haven't really, I have done a deep space map. I just, you know, this league, it's not for me. Hopefully next league I'll kind of venture my guy into deep space a little bit and see what I can accomplish in there. But for here, you know, for where I'm at, I'm really, you know, quite satisfied with how it turned out. So that's what I'm playing right now. Hopefully you guys like it. You know, it's been a great league. If you haven't played this game, you know, there is some money to be spent in it, but I truly enjoy it. I think it's, right now, it's the second best ARPG on the market, you know, hands down, in my opinion. I don't think it's close, but basically you do this, you go in, you do the Overrealm, and then, you know, you empty all these out, and you can get up pretty high. I've gotten up to level 15 on these and had some crazy stuff drop. You know, you go in here for the prisms, and you can get some decent prisms in there into Overrealm. But yeah, this is basically what I've been doing, and I've been having a blast with this league. So it's about time to, you know, cap off Torchlight and get ready for PoE. So